Hello everyone and welcome to this week's sports podcast. Now it's Friday the 19th of February 2021 and let's get on with the news, shall we, because there's plenty to get through this week. There's been a lot going on and we'll start by talking about the Premier League as normal, and this weekend's fixtures open tonight with the game between Wolves and Leeds at Molineux. So a big game this weekend to open the weekend with. The biggest game of the weekend obviously is tomorrow tea time. Obviously I'm on about Torquay against Halifax. No, I'm only joking. The Merseyside derby, Liverpool-Everton, be interesting. Everton have lost their way a little bit. Liverpool had lost their way a bit, but seem to be picking up again now. A good result for them in Europe this week. Obviously we're a round of Champions League and Europa League games midweek, and they've got to say the British teams did pretty well out of it all. I don't think any of them lost. They were a good result. Liverpool up 1-2-0 in their first leg, the first away leg against Red Bull Leipzig, so that's a good result for them. They look like they're going to be favourites to go through to the next round. And in the Europa League, I thought British teams did well, particularly Manchester United won 4-0 away to Real Sociedad in the first leg last night. Tottenham beat AC Wolfsburg 4-1 away without Harry Kane, who was not in the squad, but I've been informed that he's likely to be fit to face West Ham in the Premier League on Sunday. Rangers had a good win away to Royal Antwerp with a last minute winner after being behind twice, 2-1 and 3-2, although Antwerp did have a man sent off towards the end. And there were a 0-0 draw for Leicester away to Slavia Prague, I think it was. But Brendan Rodgers said he was disappointed with officiating in the match, but he said he still thought that he could have performed better as well. And Arsenal drew 1-1 away to Benfica, so I think all 5 British teams in the Europa League will be confident of going through to the next round, so that's all good as well. So like I say, attention turns back to the Premier League this weekend. The big game I've mentioned already is Liverpool and Everton. We've also got Chelsea, Man United, I believe, as well, and Arsenal, Man City, so there are some big games this weekend. And don't forget the A23 derby on Monday night. I'm sure they'll all be looking forward to watching Brighton against Crystal Palace. So plenty to get your teeth into this weekend. Like I say, Manchester City had another good win against Everton during the weekend, when obviously they weren't in European action, but they beat Everton fairly comfortably 3-1. 17 games now they've won in a row in all competitions. They set the record during the week, I think, or last week, when they broke records that have been held for more than a century, so well done to them. And it'll be interesting to see now whether anybody can actually pull back the deficit behind City. They look pretty much invincible at the moment, but you never know. We know of injuries and stuff that comes up, but I have to say, Man City now have De Bruyne back, and he came on against Everton, so that's going to be, it must be a bit dispiriting for the opposition when you're 3-1 down and De Bruyne comes on. At least they spared him Aguero, they didn't bother bringing him on. So, talking of Aguero, what do you think about Aguero? Do you think he might be getting to the end now of his career? He's not played much this season at all. He's had a lot of injuries again, and he doesn't seem to be too bothered about not playing. From his body language suggests he's not that bothered really. So, is his time coming up? Let me know your comments below. Just moving on now from the Premier League, because I've already mentioned Halifax are away to Torquay in the National League this week. The big discussion point from the non-league scene this weekend is the fact that the votes yesterday, Thursday evening, from the clubs have decided that below conference national level, the Conference North and South seasons will be suspended indefinitely with immediate effect. So they're going to be declared null and void. So it appears there'll be no relegation from the Conference National League this season. Does it make the season irrelevant for a lot of the teams? Maybe it does. What do you think about that? For people interested, make your comments below on that. Obviously, it would appear there'll still be promotion to and from League 2, and teams like Torquay, Hartlepool, Notts County, Sutton are all going to be in with a chance. Halifax will be hoping to be in with a chance, but they've dropped down the league due to a combination of a poor result at Barnet on Tuesday, where they lost to the bottom team 2-1. Disappointing result that. And the lack of games recently, really, because of the weather. But now weather's picking up again. Hopefully there won't be too many more postponements, and perhaps we can get back into the groove and see some more positive results. Although, like I say, it will be tough at Torquay tomorrow night. The current leaders, they look a very good team, what I've seen of them this season, and if they go up I wouldn't be surprised. But just keep your eyes on this space, see how they get on for the rest of the season. Moving on to other sports now. Cricket, England suffered a large defeat against India in the second test in Chennai, and now they move on to the third and fourth tests in the next couple of weeks. The first one's in, I think, Ahmedabad, starting next think it's Wednesday and it's a day-night match, so we'll be using the pink ball, and England need to pick up the performances. Day-night matches in India tend to favour a little bit more the English bowlers and the conditions, so I'm expecting to see Jimmy Anderson return to the team for this next game, maybe Archer as well. And on to the fourth test, they're looking at possibly bringing an unnamed spinner, one of the young spinners who's actually not currently officially in the squad, into the team for that last one, I've been told. So we'll see what happens there, because I feel they need 3 spinners for the normal daytime match for the last test. England need to make the most of this next one, because I think the best chance of winning either of the last 2 tests is going to be in this day-night match. But they'll need to pick the performance up, so fingers crossed they can do that. In other news from cricket, we had the auction for the IPL the last few days, and Moeen Ali's gone for £700,000 to Chennai Super Kings, and Sam Billings has joined Rajasthan alongside the fellow 3 English players Butler, Stokes and Archer, and I think it was Rajasthan who paid the highest fee ever for a player. Chris Morris from South Africa went to £1.6 billion. Now, I think it's more because of the fact that he's an all-rounder, he's got the ability to cover all bases, rather than the fact he's the best player in the world, because he quite clearly isn't. He's average at best, in my opinion. If you've got any views on that, or you don't agree with me, just let me know below. So that's the news from the IPL. The tennis comes to a conclusion. The Australian Open tennis comes to a conclusion this weekend. Novak Djokovic was already through to the final, and in the final he'll be facing either Daniil Medvedev or Stefanos Tsitsipas, which is quite difficult to say. They're in the first set at the moment, and when I looked at the score, Medvedev was 4 games to 2 ahead in the first set. But I wouldn't put my money on it, because I don't recommend doing that for anyone. But I think Djokovic may win. And in the ladies' final, we've got Brady against Naomi Osaka. I think it's Jennifer Brady, is it? Osaka's obviously got previous experience of playing in Grand Slam finals and winning them as well, so I think she's probably going to be a favourite there. But you never know; anything can happen in these unprecedented times. So we'll see what the outcome is. There's a break from the in the rugby union this weekend. It's a break from the Six Nations. France and Wales have both made good starts on 9 points. England have got 6, Scotland 5, Ireland 2, and Italy 0 so far. England will be looking to pick up performance in the next game to try and get back into a chance of winning the title. But Wales are a good team. France have started strongly, and you can never discount Ireland or Scotland. So it's all to play for, I'd say. Although Ireland only having 2 points, it's going to be tough for them to come back from there. So yeah, anything to keep your eye on. The Speedway season will start in May, and this week the fixtures were announced. Somewhat surprisingly, the first day of the season in the Premiership, I expected Bellevue to be riding Wolves, but they're not. They're riding King's Lynn at home, and Peterborough are riding Ipswich as well, and Wolves have got an open day which hasn't been confirmed yet, so a little bit different. But I believe Eurosport are going to be showing one of the matches live anyway, so just looking forward to that now. Hopefully the fans will be able to return to stadiums around that time, or maybe just afterwards. The full set of championship fixtures have been received as well, and I think Leicester, the highlight fixtures, Leicester's taking on Redcar on the 1st of May in their first meeting. They have left some gaps in the fixture list in case the seasons do need to be pushed back a little bit as well, so just watch out for any changes to the schedules. Obviously we're still unsure as to what's going to happen with the lockdown. The roadmap announcement is on Monday, I believe, from Boris, so that may define where sporting events take place, when, and whether fans can attend, so you need to keep an eye on that as well. In other news I can think of at the moment from the sporting world this week, we've had, let me think about this, we've had more talk about racism, and it seems to have been a problem again. I don't really want to go into that, but it's quite clearly an issue. But it's not just racism, we've got other prejudices, we've got homophobia, and we've got sexism, and we've got all sorts of other things going on. So just, bear those in mind. It's not a pleasant world for some people to be living in, and we shouldn't have to go through this now. But some of the teams have decided now they're not going to take the knee, and they say it's a bit much. It's like it's a empty gesture now, really, is what some of the players are saying. You've got to sort of like respect their views on that, but I don't want to go into that too much. So I think I've covered much of the main stories from this weekend. There's nothing else I can think of in terms of local stuff. The work's continuing at Odsall to get the stadium finished there in time for the stock cars on the 3rd of April. The shale's arrived and it's been going down this week, so we're making good progress there. So something to look forward to for all you stock car fans, and potentially down the line speedway fans. Hopefully the sport will be returning to Oddsall at some point in the not too distant future. So that's a positive. Yep, so I think that's about it for this week. Any comments or anything you'd like to see more coverage of, please let me know in the comments below. So I'm going to sign off there for now, and I'll see you all again next week.